Okay, so with this one, we're going to be doing a little bit of kind of performance analysis. We're going to be spawning a bunch more of entities here, doing some fun ECS related stuff here. So what it's going to be doing in this case is we're just going to go ahead and spawn a bunch of these guys. We're spawning 250 by 250. You can see right now we're moving all these guys at around 50 frames per second. And basically what these guys are doing is, if we kind of zoom in here, they're just kind of like randomly moving around. So they'll just pick like a random direction to move in. They'll face that direction and then just move forward. And then, every couple seconds, they'll just kind of like recalculate their random direction. So it's just kind of some random movement. So we can just kind of like test a couple things with the transform system here. So if we look over in the entities hierarchy, you can see what we have here is these guys, all these spawnees are just kind of at the root here of the scene. And then so one thing that, people might do, and this is kind of going back to when we're looking at that forum post, talking about some like naive things that somebody might potentially do, is say, oh, I have, all these entities here. Let me just kind of clean things up and we'll put these all under a parent. So if we go over here and then we say should parent, so this is what this is going to do is if we enter play mode, you can see, oh, awesome. Look, all these guys are just under this one parent. This is so much nicer and cleaner. We can actually go ahead and we see, we got all these spawnees. But oh my gosh, look at this. We're down to 15 frames per second now. So we have, absolutely cut our performance in, just a fraction of what we had before, just by simply putting all these spawnees under the parent. So the reason for that, if we take a look at our profiler here, you see that if we look in the jobs here, you see that we have a whole bunch of idle threads for a long while, and then we scroll down, 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 and we have this local to world system compute child local to world job happening all on one single thread here. The reason for this is because when we have that one single parent, if we actually kind of go into the local to world system, and what was this called again? The compute child local to world job. So this is compute root. So yeah, compute child local to world job. So basically what this does is we basically get a dynamic buffer, and then we go through linearly all the children, and then call the child local to world from transform matrix on here. So we have to, update all these children one by one manually on one single thread here, basically just going through that buffer of all the children and updating the transforms. And again, all this stuff has to happen in that one thread, because we're just going from the parent, going through that dynamic buffer, and then iterating through each child and updating the child's transform position. So, as you can see, what we thought of just like, oh, hey, I'm just doing a little bit of scene cleanup here just by putting everything under this one parent. Well, that actually leads to some massive performance implications, because, now we have to go to this parent and we can see that we have this child buffer of 62,500 length of all the children on here. And so, yeah, it's definitely a potential issue that you could run into. So I'm just saying, you don't want to necessarily avoid using the, parenting hierarchy. However, don't overuse it to the point where you have like many entities under one single entity, just to kind of do a little bit of scene cleanup and maintenance there.
Crazy. Very crazy.
Yeah.